I think drama holds a special part in our hearts because at the end of the day, it's a reflection of ourselves. While we'll most likely never be heroes whisked away to other worlds or in charge of investigating murders, what we will inevitably face are tough decisions, crossroads in life, competing priorities, and that pesky thing we call human connection. These are the series that we see ourselves most in. Here are your nominees for Best Drama of 2024.
生温かくて無力で
全てはこいつが元凶だから、しょうがないな。1時間だけだよ。あ、それ召し上がれ。
よっと
全部ぶつける。
ダメ
先の景色は。
And the jury pick for drama in the 2024 R Anime Awards, Look Back. And the public winner, voted by you, is Oshinoko Season 2.
I like the little dramatic flair there.
I've done these a few times.
Yeah. But I can't say that Look Back is in any bit surprising. I mean, if anything, it's surprising that it wasn't a consensus pick, even though it is number 2 over there on the public. But what do you think of these winners? What's your first impression?
I am entirely not surprised that Look Back won the jury award and was voted number 2. Just the story alone is immensely wonderful in a sense of like, what if? Because like you said at the beginning, everyone knows drama in their life. And we all have those moments. What if we could change something? What if we could prevent something from happening? And that resonates with everyone. And to also have like a little bit of the undercurrent of the 2019 Kyoto Animation arson incident as this kind of relates together, I think it really resonated both inside Japan and outside. So to have the jury pick it number 1 and have it rank as high for the public voting, I'm not surprised at all. Like, no offense to Oshinoko. Oshinoko is a very, very popular show. I'm not surprised that won for the public vote. But that also says just how good Look Back is to me.
Well, here's my little pet theory, and you guys can confirm or deny this. Well, Oshinoko, very minor spoilers. There's this kind of character arc where we're following this one character. He's not a very good actor. He kind of got where he is through like basically nepotism, right? But he undergoes this journey where he learns that if I can just do this one thing really, really well, that'll make me stand out, and that'll be the difference, right? And ultimately, he accomplishes his goal, right?
Right.
I think Oshinoko is very similar in that respect, where sometimes it doesn't hit, sometimes it's kind of like very low floor, but the ceilings when the animation goes out of control, when all of the arcs are hitting exactly at the perfect tempo, it's magic. Now the thing is, if you compare it to Look Back, I think that entire thing starts at 100 and just stays there the entire time. So
Yeah,
it's a little
it
bit
does.
an unfair comparison, but I like to see you guys' thoughts on that. I mean, Stuck, what do you think the jury landed on that?
All right. Well, I mean, obviously, Oshinoko is sitting at 8th there for us, and overall, I think that a lot of the jurors did enjoy Oshinoko this year. Felt it was a strong season. In particular, we talked a lot about the Kana Akane stuff going on this season. Felt that that was particularly strong. But outside of that, you brought up that one particular actor that had that character arc this season, and we had a bit of a mixed reaction on that. Felt it was a
Hmm.
little bit sudden, but did overall appreciate the changes in his character. And then some of the other characters, Ruby was still fairly sidelined, underutilized. Memcho hardly shows up. Not that we were necessarily talking much about Memcho. Yeah, so there were a lot of elements that we were somewhat mixed on, and that's kind of why it ended up ranking lower for us overall. But it was still a solid season that I think most of the jurors at least enjoyed.
But is it any way better than Look Back? Could you see the reasoning?
If you ask me personally, I would not see any way that I would consider it better, but that's partially, I mean, my own bias as someone that very much loved to Look Back. It is genuinely one of my all-time favorite films. So I was overjoyed to be able to have that victory, that first place placement in the category for Look Back.
It almost deals with something similar to Oshinoko, right? Where it's kind of a look at the industry. It's kind of like a love letter to creators. While Oshinoko is like, gritty realism of like what it's like to operate in the show business. Look Back is really a kind of encapsulation of those thoughts of what it means to be a creator. Who are you creating for? What does it mean to make stuff for an audience? And I think that like what I'm trying to get at here is that it seems this year in particular so much of the narrative is so intertwined with the animation where with these winners, even the top fives, you could argue that if you showed me this and you told me that this was like the results for a best animation category, I would believe you because so much love is poured into this.
Yeah, there's lots of really amazing animation, and we definitely had a tough time comparing a lot of these entries on that like production level of sort of like, all right, which of these has the best production? And like Look Back, Uma Musume, both of those were like really neck and neck. Boy and the Heron as well, just really out there production. Of course, Euphonium is always going to be an absolutely beautiful show and lots of really fantastic details and character animation in that, as well as, of course, voice acting. And then, we brought up points for others as well, Monogatari and Girls Band Cry with the more experimental stuff. So just really solid year overall on a lot of these entries. Yeah.
And also for Slam Dunk as well. That was such
Oh
a
yes.
fantastic 3D animation. I mean, a lot of people may not appreciate 3D anime, but that was one of the most beautiful movies I saw last year.
Yeah. That one definitely had a lot of points about the production there as well. Everything in the whole category just had something going for it, honestly. So it
At
became very much like, all right, where are we going to draw these lines? And that became a lot harder as things started getting narrowed down.
But at the end of the day, we're here for the drama, right? And what oozes drama more than some Hibike euphonium? Season 3 is Kumiko kind of navigating this kind of new team leader role she's given herself, right? And obviously you can't have a category of Mega X and not talk about Hibike. So you want to give us your thoughts on season 3?
Season 3 is drama, drama, drama. Coming into it, I wanted to express to everyone, hey, this is going to be a different season than what you're used to with UFO. Because season 1 it had a lot of comedic elements to it. Season 2 had a little bit more drama with it, but it also felt a little bit light still. Season 3 just hits you with the drama from the very beginning, like, hey, this is Kumiko's last year. She's going to be graduating. This is it. This is all of her chances left to go to nationals. Oh, and by the way, here we have a new character who is very, very talented playing the euphonium as well. So it just all adds up to one of the biggest, most dramatic moments in the euphonium franchise in episode 9.
I heard that there is a very notable change between the source material and what ends up playing out within the series. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it was done for the better? I mean, Kyoto Animation in and of itself, it's kind of known for these sort of changes where it suits the story, right? But did it suit it this time?
It absolutely suited it this time.
Mm.
Like, one of the gags sometimes in Japanese fandom is original work is original work, anime is anime. But I feel like UFO is this weird amalgamation of both anime and original novel where things may change a little bit, but it's all kind of one story, but kind of told in a different way. So with the novel, up until this year, Kumiko had kind of been like a narrator, passive character. That changed for anime because with an anime you need a more active character that will go and do things. And so season 1 had the anime original bit where she couldn't perform that part in episode 12 and Taki tells her, "No, just let Asuka just play this." And you get that wonderful "I want to improve" bridge scene that everyone loves.
Oh
That's
my god,
completely anime
that's not
original.
sourced? Oh my god. That's like the scene. Like
Yes.
Umaku Naritai, like
But it is an anime original bit because that didn't fit like the original story. Like I said, it's more of the first novel is almost Reina's story than it is Kumiko's story. And then the second novel focuses on Nozomi and Mizure, the second years. And then the third novel focuses on Asuka, the third year. Ha ha ha. 1, 2, 3. First year, second year, third year. And then in Kumiko's second year, she kind of gets a little bit more involved with Yuko kind of making her like the HR person or the consulting clinic person to just take care of things while Yuko handles other things. But in the novel, year 3 is when she becomes the actual protagonist. And so that's when her story in that one kind of becomes the hero's tale. And we're going to do spoilers now. In the novel, Kumiko wins to play the Soli with Reina at Nationals. But in the anime, Kumiko's already been the kind of main character. She's been this role. But the aspect of UFO in the anime is no one has the most happiest ending of all. You have setbacks. Nothing is perfect. And so Mayu wins the Soli in the anime. And that fits the anime story. Because you then have reason for why Mayu's coming in for that particular year. It just makes sense from a storytelling perspective for her coming in. She resolves her own past and she becomes valued for herself and her talent. Whereas in the novel, she's there to kind of boost Kumiko's story.
it's so wonderful. I mean, again with the added scenes, like you don't get if she wins the solo, you don't get the scene where Reina comes up to her and is like, "How could I not recognize your euphonium?" You know?
How could you not have like the parallels to season 1, episode 8, and just
Oh.
the beauty of that scene? You know, it's episode 12 is the finale of the season. Episode 13 is kind of like the epilogue. Like, okay, we're just finishing this up.
And, speaking of the epilogue stuck, I think there are some contentions of UFO 3. In particular, maybe with the ending. I know there's some contention with the way that Reina drama is kind of treated, where she becomes this kind of like villain arc, and then that gets resolved kind of clumsily in some people's opinion. Can you talk about the general jury thoughts on Hibike 3, and then exactly why the Uma Musume movie edged over it?
Well, I mean, the jury obviously loved UFO 3. I'm personally a huge fan of it and have been a fan of the franchise for a long time now. And so, as far as why the Uma movie edges over it, it's mostly to do with one, the really high end production of that movie. And then also, as far as UFO goes, I think that a decent amount of the jury had some mixed feelings on Mayu. There were definitely mixed feelings on episode 13, and I actually ended up doing a pretty big write up on episode 13, just trying to get people to look at it a little bit of a different way. Episode 13 in particular has the performance scene with the flashback montage, and a lot of people were kind of mixed on the change from performance scenes not being as present in this season, I guess. And so that also didn't help UFO too much. While in Uma, it's like very focused on these races and the production elevates these races so much, and so you get a lot of really strong animation during the races in Uma Musume. Furthermore, you also get some really great cinematography in the Uma Musume movie, and so that I think also helped it edge over Euphonium. There were a handful of jurors that definitely felt that the Uma movie had stronger cinematography overall. A lot of really great shots, honestly, within Takion's room and a few other places. There were some good shots by the riverside with Poke and her senpai, and it's a very beautiful movie, and I think that that's what ended up getting it that edge over Euphonium.
Well, we've said it before, but I'll say it again. Like all of these look so gorgeous. Like even if maybe drama's not your thing, it's worth it to watch these just for the pure experience. And also for the experience of listening to our wonderful guests. Thank you so much for coming by. It's been a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you for having me.